Did you think scaling your business with AI would be easy? I did. I tried countless ChatGPT prompts and so-called expert strategies and wasted dozens of hours on trial and error before I finally cracked the code. Now I've helped businesses generate thousands in extra profits every month using ChatGPT, and I really wish I'd known these smarter strategies right from the start. In this extra thorough video, I'm going to show you the mistakes that most businesses like yours are making with AI that lose them leads, how you need to be using it instead to get way more done and run your business like a powerhouse, even if you're a one-person show, and I'll even reveal my best online marketing prompts so you can reach more people and close more deals in 2025 than you ever have before. If you're a small business owner, you were promised that content marketing was going to get way easier when AI came out. All you'd have to do was use ChatGPT to write content, post it online, and wait for the clients to roll in. Just one sticky problem though. Everyone else had ChatGPT too. And it's making it too easy for content creators, marketers, and business owners to create crappy content and flood the internet with it. So if you're still relying on ChatGPT to handle your content marketing, you're way behind and there's no reason for people to come back to your content or to your business. But it's not all bad news. There's one way to use all of this to your business's advantage. So how did we get into this content mess to begin with? Let's rewind back to 2010. I remember stumbling upon the book Inbound Marketing and feeling like I had just struck gold. The idea was pretty simple, create a ton of blog posts, rank high on Google, and just watch the leads roll in all on their own. It seemed pretty perfect, but there was a really big catch. Creating quality content was really time consuming. Not every business had the resources to have a team of writers that are just churning out articles day and night. It was really a game of who had the most patience and the deepest pockets. Fast forward to November 2022. So ChatGPT burst onto the scene with all the energy of the Kool-Aid man at a funeral, and suddenly AI writing assistants were everywhere, promising to solve all of our content problems, and marketing gurus were shouting from the rooftops, use AI, crank out content, dominate your competition. It sounded too good to be true, and guess what? It was. Here's what happened. People got lazy. They started relying on AI to do all the heavy lifting. So they'd ask ChatGPT to write entire articles, barely giving them a once-over before hitting publish. What we wound up with was a sea of AI-generated fluff. The internet is busting with articles, videos, and social media posts that all sound the same. They're just regurgitating the same old ideas, and people are getting sick of it. So what does this mean for businesses? Well, if you've been relying on educational blog posts to help you bring in new clients, you might be in for a rough ride. That old create content, rank on Google, get clients playbook, it's starting to fall apart. And AI isn't just messing up one kind of content, it's leaving its robotic fingerprints all over the internet. First up, and most notably, blogs, right? They've definitely taken the biggest hit. AI is churning out articles faster than ever, and the problem is they all sound the same. They tend to overuse the same word choices over and over again. In fact, there's a really funny post that shows how much the word delve has increased in usage in medical papers since ChatGPT latched onto it. But it's more than just simple word choices, right? These AI-written blogs, they lack the personal touch, the experiences, and those expert insights that make you go, I never thought of it like that. It's all just blah. But what about videos? They don't get a pass here. They're to blame for this mess too. We're talking everything from AI-generated scripts, voiceovers. You can even get an AI avatar of yourself. This is mine. What do you think? Whenever I click on one of those videos, they're not hard to spot in the first few seconds that they're pretty obviously AI-generated, and I just go back and look for something else pretty much immediately. AI videos just don't have the human spark, that authentic connection that makes you want to keep watching. Instead, they're pretty much just hollow shells made to game the system and rake in that sweet, sweet ad revenue. And then there's social media. So AI is pretty much flooding our feeds with generic posts that are about as riveting as a rerun on the Weather Channel. You know those inspirational quotes that sound like they came from a fortune cookie factory? Yep, that's AI hard at work for you. So let's talk about the first big problem with AI-made content, which is falling into the commodity content trap. AI is pumping out tons of content really fast, but here's the thing. Just because there's a lot of it doesn't mean it's any good. You know, this AI stuff is missing some really important things: a unique point of view, expert opinions, and real life experiences. So what we end up with is a bunch of content that all sounds the same and doesn't really grab anyone's attention. It's like being stuck in a time loop where every day is exactly like the last. Groundhog Day, but make it digital. Here's why that's a problem. So if a brand keeps making this kind of basic generic content, they start to look just like everyone else. They lose what makes them special. Think about generic content like getting a burger from any drive-thru restaurant. It satisfies your craving for immediate information, but once you're done with it, you'll never think about it again. Good content, on the other hand, is like a fun meal at a cool restaurant with your friends. It not only answers your questions, but it's memorable and it makes you want to come back for more. Because when you keep making content that could have come from literally anywhere, you're missing chances to show off what makes your brand better than your competition. You know, your unique voice, your expert knowledge, all that good stuff gets lost. But there's another problem. Google's AI search is shaking up SEO. Remember when we used to Google something and click through to a website to get our answer? Well, those days might be numbered because Google's getting smarter. They're now using AI to answer searches directly on the results page. Sounds convenient, right? But here's the catch. It's making life really tough for both AI-generated and human-written blog posts. Take NerdWallet, for example. This financial advice powerhouse recently reported that their organic traffic dropped by 15 to 18% in just one quarter. That's a significant hit, and it's not just them. It's happening to many businesses that rely on search traffic. This is turning the whole SEO game on its head. Those how-to articles and ultimate guides that businesses used to use to attract visitors, they're losing their punch because people aren't finding them nearly as often as before. You know, think about it. If you can get a quick answer right from Google, why would you ever click through to an article? And if you want more in-depth info, you might just go straight to a video or a podcast where you can hear from a real expert. Because in the AI era, trust is the new SEO. And my recommendations for how to actually still be able to use AI content to build massive amounts of trust to get new clients, it's coming up in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about the robot elephant in the room. People just don't like AI-generated content. You know how we all have that one family member who always tells the same boring stories? Well, that's how people pretty much feel about generic AI content. They're over it, and here's why that's a big deal. Engagement rates for this stuff are in the basement. People aren't clicking, they're not sticking around, and they're definitely not coming back for more. For businesses, that means fewer leads and fewer sales. But it gets even worse. Trust takes years to build and seconds to break, and generic content is like a wrecking ball for trust. When people read something that sounds like it could have been written by anyone or anything, they're not thinking, wow, these guys really know their stuff. What they are thinking is, meh, I could have gotten this information anywhere. So let's cut to the chase. AI-generated content just isn't gonna cut it anymore. Your customers, they're not buying it. They want the real deal. They're craving authenticity, which is why they were already flocking to video over written content even before the AI boom. ChatGPT just accelerated that shift. TikTok's becoming the main search engine for Gen Z, and YouTube? It's the second biggest search engine right after Google. People want to see faces, hear voices, and get real advice from real people. You know that old phrase, content is king? Well, content's become all too common, so quality's the king now. But here's the million-dollar question. How can you make quality content and still use AI to do it fast and do more of it? So the answer is to lean away from commodity content and into personality-led content. And since people trust content that they can see and hear more than just reading words on a page, We're talking about concentrating on trust-building content formats like podcasts and videos. Let's break it down. First up, let's talk podcasts. Now, I'll be honest, podcasts can be tricky because the podcast apps don't really do much to help new listeners find you. It's not like YouTube where the algorithm is going to suggest your stuff to new audiences. But here's a pro tip. Make it a video podcast and put it on YouTube. It's honestly the only way I'd recommend doing a podcast these days. And YouTube is really making big strides at becoming the #1 podcast app out there, so it can really work out. And this approach combines that intimacy of audio with the discoverability of video. And speaking of video, short form videos like those 30-second TikToks or Instagram Reels, those are great for getting eyeballs on your content. They're absolutely perfect when you're just starting out. But there's a catch to it. These benefits can be pretty shallow, right? Someone might watch you for 30 seconds and then poof, they're gone, probably never to return. And that's not great if you're trying to actually generate clients, right? Now, long form videos, that's where the magic happens. I'm talking 5 minutes or more. These guys are fantastic for building that know, love, and trust factor. They give you time to really showcase your personality and your expertise. And if you're doing that video podcast thing that I mentioned earlier, that falls right into this category. So if you're asking for my advice and you're watching this video, so I'm gonna assume you are, I would say to concentrate on those longer videos. So when you show up on camera, you're giving your audience a chance to really connect with you as a person, right? They're not just reading words, they're hearing your voice, they're seeing your face, getting a feel for who you really are. So while everyone else is churning out AI-written blog posts, you'll be building a loyal following who feels like they actually know you. That's how you stand out. But okay, how the heck do you actually do that? Trust me, it's simpler than you might think. Here's a secret sauce. Just take simple information and your teaching points and wrap them in your own stories. That's it. That's the magic formula. And the cool thing is, you can actually use AI to help you with those basic facts and points. But the stories, those gotta come from you. And when I say stories, I mean your own experiences, your clients' experiences, analogies, your best advice and your opinions. It's your stories and your unique way of delivering them that's gonna transform those AI-generated talking points into authentic, thought leader level content. And here's the best part. You don't need to be some larger than life personality to pull this off. Being personality led doesn't mean you need to be the class clown or the life of the party. It just means being authentically you. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but just the fact that you're a real person sharing real experiences, that's 85% of the battle won right there. Now, if you happen to be extra fun or quirky, that's great. That's the cherry on top. Jamie Wolfer is a wedding planner doing really amazing things on YouTube right now, and she's definitely big on personality, and she uses it to her advantage. But if that's not you, don't even worry about it. There are plenty of popular YouTubers who are just calm and straightforward. Take Anna Hickman or Ben Kaluza, for example. They're killing it too without any over-the-top antics. Remember, people are coming to your content for information first and foremost, but it's your deep experience and opinions that's gonna make that knowledge stick. Think of it this way. AI can do about 60 to 70% of the heavy lifting, giving you the basic framework. But that extra 30%, that's all you, baby. Your stories, your case studies, your analogies. That's what's gonna make your content really shine. Just look at YouTubers like Matt Diggity or Letitia Stiles. These are business owners who've nailed it. They take their expertise and they sprinkle in their personality and their unique perspectives. Their content isn't just informative, it's really engaging and relatable too. So, will AI eventually catch up and mess up personality-led content too? Look, AI is getting better every day, no doubt about it, but it's never walked out into the world or learned a lesson the hard way or carried a client to victory. In other words, AI can't replace you, your experiences, or your unique way of connecting with your audience. It can simulate those things, but it'll never bring any new insights to the table. And sure, we might get to a point where AI can create talking head videos that look and sound just like you, but here's the thing. That tech, when it comes around, it's probably not going to be cheap, and it's going to take a really long time to render, probably longer than it'd take to just record yourself for real. And that's fine for talking head videos, but let's say you're trying to show someone how to properly clean a window or groom a dog. AI is going to have a really tough time getting all those little details right. Plus, YouTube's not messing around. They're requiring creators to disclose if their videos are AI generated. So your audience will always know what's real and what's not, and they want real now and in the future. That ain't changing. They want to watch real people with real life experiences, sharing hard-won advice and opinions. There's just something about a real person on camera that AI can't replicate. So yeah, AI is gonna keep improving, but your real self going on camera, sharing your unique experiences and perspectives, that's something special. That's something that AI can't touch. In the early days, tweaking ChatGPT's tone was like getting a suit custom fitted, but really only being able to wear it once. Each new chat session was like starting all over with an off-the-rack suit. The custom adjustments just didn't stick. But now, think of ChatGPT's new custom instructions feature like owning that perfectly tailored suit for good. Set your style preferences just once, and it remembers them using your preset style in every new chat you start. And if you need help researching just about anything, ChatGPT brought back the ability to find information in real time by browsing the open internet. And we'll get to an insanely useful case for that in just a bit. So let me show you how I use these tools to help run my business and save hours of extra work every day. So let's get our morning started with creating content. So ChatGPT is your wingman for this. It can think up ideas, help plan, write blog posts, social media captions, scripts, or lead magnets. But let's look at our first power prompt to make your writing sound like you instead of a robot. You need to tell it what tone to use, but how exactly do you put a tone into words? No worries, because ChatGPT can help you define it. So first, you want to find examples of the style you like. So this could be stuff that you've written or stuff written by others, like articles or YouTube videos. So if you happen to love Alex Hormozy's Straight Talk or Amy Porterfield's Friendly Advice, just grab some links or transcripts that show their style the best. Then just take these to ChatGPT, and we're going to use this prompt. I run a business focused on your niche and mainly create content like, and then you'll put in your content type here, blog post, podcast, whatever it is. I need your expertise to help set a consistent way our content sounds and feels. Analyze the tone and style of the content examples I provide. Look at how formal or casual they are, the kind of emotions they show, the types of words used, how the sentences are built, and any unique features. Then I just give it instructions how to organize what it finds into a way that makes it really easy for ChatGPT to replicate. Then you would describe your audience so that it can help tailor the tone to resonate with them especially. And say, here's the content I want you to analyze. Then you just paste in that content and hit enter. It's going to give you an incredibly detailed breakdown that it can follow to sound exactly how you want it to. And if you have the paid version, just paste it right here into your custom instructions in the second box. Then it'll write in your style automatically every time you ask it for something. Now that you found your voice, it's time to get creating. And when it comes to crafting any kind of content using ChatGPT, you really can't just come out and ask it to write you an article or a script from scratch. You need to go step by step if you want to get the best results. And our first step here is figuring out the topic, right? So let's look at how we can prompt ChatGPT to help us brainstorm a powerful list of topics that we can cover not just today, but for the next few months. So we're just going to use this prompt. I run a business in the your industry, focusing on, and then just give it a little bit of details about your business. We want to make our online content more varied and interesting to better connect with our audience and boost our online presence. We're looking to create, articles, YouTube videos, fill in the blank here. I need you to help me come up with 30 creative and relevant content ideas that fit our industry and really appeal to our target audience who are fill in the blank. Then I just ask for it to be put in a table format where it gives me suggested topics, a description of each, and 3 title ideas for each as well. Then I just give some extra context for ChatGPT about why these ideas are so important. It just helps it do its job way better this way. Then just keep track of the ones you like, including the titles, put them in a spreadsheet, and then just go one by one, starting with creating the outline. For that, we'll use this prompt. I need to make a detailed and unique outline for an article, script, whatever, about your niche. The topic is X and the title is Y. And of course, you've gotten the topics and titles from our last prompt. Then you'll describe your audience and everything it should include. I'm not going to go through everything here. Just go ahead and pause this, or better yet, you can just download the full prompt guide at the link below in the description. Then I just give the context again about why this is so important. That's going to get you kickstarted. Then you can request any changes, ask it to get rid of any points you don't like, or to add something that you think should be included. No big trick here, just chat with it like you would talk to a really smart intern. Once the outline looks good, just stay in the same chat and enter this prompt to get it writing. Using the outline we've developed for the article titled, insert it here, I'd like you to start writing the first sections, focusing particularly on the introduction and the initial key point. As we're addressing, insert your audience here, the content should be, and then mention the desired tone here. And here's where I tell it to use storytelling devices to make it more engaging. So this is gonna make a huge difference and help it sound a lot less academic and a lot more like a human wrote it based on their own experience. Then I tell it to start with just the intro and the first key point, giving some specific instructions, and then to stop and wait for me to tell it to keep going. Then you're just going to keep prompting it to continue to the next key point and the next until you get to the end. Now, the reason you want it to go little by little is because it can go much deeper into individual points that way. So if you asked it for everything at once, it would end up being really short and pretty shallow. So once you've got the entire thing finished, just copy and paste it into a Google Doc. And here's the critical step that's going to make your content better than 99% of all that other AI generated stuff out there. You got to do a human pass on it, correcting any mistakes, adding in any of your own personal experiences and your own unique point of view. And this prompt stack works for not just blog posts or scripts, but it's also perfect for lead magnets, social media captions, and any kind of content you need. Okay, so it's just before lunch now, and I like to use this time to tackle an important sales task, responding to emails from potential clients. Now, if you're like me, this can be a huge time suck and productivity killer. It's kind of like playing a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. As soon as you answer one, another pops up asking pretty much the same thing. But ChatGPT can help you answer emails much faster and much better than you could do it on your own. Here's how you do it. So first of all, set aside an hour or two, not every day, just one time, and compile all of those frequently asked questions that you get along with your best answers to each. Just save it in whatever format that you're comfortable with, a Google Doc, spreadsheet, whatever works. Now, you might be thinking, how is this going to save me time? Well, first, I'm going to share a really smart approach that's already a huge time saver for managing emails. And then after that, we'll build on that method to further automate this process to save you even more time. So when you sit down to answer emails, just upload your FAQ document along with this prompt. I am, then insert your name, the owner of a business specializing in, insert your niche here. As an expert in this field, I often receive a variety of emails that need timely and thoughtful responses. To assist me with this, I've uploaded a document containing frequently asked questions along with my typical responses. Then I just tell it that I'll be pasting individual emails and I want you to respond to each one as me. Then I specify the tone, which should be warm and human, not like a cold, overly professional sounding customer service response that you may have gotten in the past. Then I just tell it to refer to that FAQ document for answers to questions. And if there's a question it doesn't know how to answer, it needs to ask me follow-up questions to get it right. And then of course some context again to help it understand what the goal is. Then paste in the first email and answer any follow-up questions it asks you. Then just repeat that for every email, and responding this way takes me less than a minute per email now. But it gets even better from here. There is a way to hook up ChatGPT directly to your inbox and have it generate responses automatically for you. So you can do this with the free version of Zapier. Word of caution here, you don't want it to send them out right away. Just like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving, you never know when it could go rogue and say say something you wish it hadn't. So to make sure that I can look over them first, I ask it to save the responses as drafts instead of sending them off right away. And this makes responding to emails way less disruptive to my day. Okay, so it's just about lunchtime now, and this is when I like to shift gears a bit. Instead of doom scrolling or watching TV while I eat, I actually like to use this time in a way that lets me charge more and helps me run a better business. And I do that by investing in my own knowledge and skills. It's just a little something I picked up from Alex Hormozy, what he calls skill investing. But here's the challenge. There's a ton of information out there, like too much information, and that makes it hard to figure out what's actually useful. So why not have ChatGPT filter through the noise and pinpoint only the most important stuff for me? So here's the strategy I use. I apply the 80-20 rule to my learning process. The goal is to find that top 20% of material that's gonna give me 80% of the knowledge and skills that I need. I'll just decide on a specific skill or topic that I want to learn more about today. Let's say, for example, that I want to learn more about running YouTube ads. I would then just use the prompt, I'm dedicating my lunch break to improving my skills in, insert your topic here. I need you to scour the web to comprehensively research this topic. Then I just tell it needs to take everything it finds and distill it down to just the top 20% of information that I'll need to understand it. Next, I give it some marks it needs to hit to be as helpful for me as possible. Again, I'm not gonna read all this out loud now, but you can download the prompts guide in the description below. You don't wanna skip any of this. This is gonna make sure your guide is actually easy to understand. Then I tell it to take as much time as it needs to make sure the result is the best it can be. Then it's gonna give you back a really thoughtfully curated training manual that'll help you get better at that topic and that'll help you be a better business owner as well. Okay, so now as I go into the afternoon, I like to focus on planning and overall business strategy. You know how business gurus are always saying that you should be working on your business rather than working in it if you want to grow? But no off-the-shelf prompt is going to help you do that, because what you need as a business to go from here to here has got to be 100% tailored to you. So here is where the ultimate power prompt I promised you comes into play. And the beauty is, this ultimate prompt works for anything: marketing, strategic planning, hiring new people, even fine-tuning your finances. Think of it like sculpting, right? You start with a rough block, your initial idea, and then ChatGPT helps you chip away at it bit by bit, refining it into a precise, actionable plan. So say you want to double the number of clients you get every month, or you want to add another service to your business, but you're not sure what service will be the most profitable, You tell ChatGPT about it, and it turns your big, broad idea into a focused conversation. It'll ask you specifics, your goals, challenges, who you're targeting, and with each answer, your idea gets sharper and clearer. So let me show you what I mean. Here's the ultimate power prompt you're gonna paste into ChatGPT. I want you to be my prompt creating expert. Your goal is to help me craft the best possible prompt for my needs. The prompt will be used by you, ChatGPT. You will follow the following steps. Your first response will be to ask me what the prompt should be about. I'll provide you my answer, but we'll need to improve it through continual iterations by going through the next steps. The second thing you're gonna do based on my input, you will generate 3 sections. 1, revised prompt. 2, suggestions, and 3, questions. We'll continue this iterative process with me providing additional information to you and updating the prompt in the revised prompt section until it's completed. Then ChatGPT is going to ask you what the prompt should be about. You answer in whatever way you'd like, and it asks follow-ups while revamping the prompt to be clearer and clearer every go round. The end result, you get a tailored prompt like a custom fit suit. So this isn't really just about getting answers. It's about getting the right answers to a very specific question, even when you're not sure what the question is going into it. You've probably heard all about using ChatGPT to help you write blog posts or brainstorm ideas. But what if I told you there were 7 completely new ways this AI will transform your business in 2025, and they're bigger than anything you've seen so far. But before we get into all the ways ChatGPT can transform your business, let's talk about what's really new. So if you've been following AI developments, you probably know that ChatGPT has gone through some pretty serious upgrades. We're talking about a complete shift with the new O1 model and some insanely powerful features that are going to make you rethink how you can use AI in your business. First off, the O1 model isn't just smarter, it's actually the first AI model to outperform humans in key areas like problem solving and planning. It's kind of gone from being an assistant to acting more like a full-on business strategist. Now, this thing's actually scoring higher on IQ tests than most people are. That means it can now handle really complex tasks that go way beyond simple automation. It's like having a team of high IQ genius level specialists working for you, all within ChatGPT. And then there's the new improved voice feature on the app. So if you haven't tried it yet, imagine having a conversation with AI as naturally as you would chat with a colleague. No typing, no screens, just talking. And here's what makes it cool. You can use ChatGPT anywhere, anytime. Driving to work, walking the dog, no problem. Just start talking, and it's like having a really smart assistant who's right there with you. If you're a business owner, you already know how inbox overload can drain your time when you could be focusing on growing your business. But that's where ChatGPT, connected to tools like Zapier or Make.com, can completely change how you handle emails. Here's how it works. ChatGPT can integrate directly with your email system, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, or whatever you use. So let's say a new customer inquiry comes in. ChatGPT instantly drafts up a response personalized to that email based on the patterns that you've already set up. It can detect the tone, understand the context, and deliver an email that sounds like it came directly from you, not from a robot. But obviously you don't just want AI, sending out responses that you don't sign off on first, right? I mean, ChatGPT is good, but it's not all the way ready to be just unleashed on your clients unsupervised. Not yet anyway. But the cool thing is, these drafts are saved for you to review, tweak if needed, and then you just hit send manually. It's not fully automated to the point where you lose control. It's more like having an assistant who does all the heavy lifting and you just have to do a quick approval. Just imagine how much time you'd save not having to type out each message from scratch. A couple of edits and a click, and you're done. You can even set up different triggers using Zapier to make this process even smarter. For example, customer orders, new lead inquiries, or specific types of questions can all be handled differently. Got a common FAQ? No problem, ChatGPT can handle it with a simple, perfectly worded reply. Need more detailed responses for those big ticket clients? It'll adjust accordingly, making sure that the tone and the detail match the situation. By automating all this, you're freeing up hours every week, if not every day. And this kind of automation isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity for business owners who want to stay competitive and reduce their stress and just operate at a higher level. Let's be real, one of the toughest parts of running a business is finding the time to brainstorm and plan. Whether it's creating content, outlining projects, or just getting your ideas organized, it almost always feels like you need hours of focus that you just don't have. That's where ChatGPT's new improved voice feature comes in. So instead of being chained to your desk trying to hammer out ideas, you can talk directly to ChatGPT. No typing, no screens. Just start a conversation using the voice feature on your phone. You just lay out what you want, whether it's an outline for your next YouTube video or the rough idea for a new project, and then ChatGPT fills in the gaps for you. It's kind of like having a brainstorming partner who listens, thinks, and even does all the research while you're on the go. Yeah, so I need your help brainstorming something. I have a new idea. You ask, it responds just like a real conversation. Now, the magic here is just in how natural it feels. You talk to it like you would a brainstorming partner, and it responds instantly with suggestions, connections, and insights, just like in a real conversation. What used to take you hours to sit down and write out is now done in minutes. It's fast, intuitive, and it helps you stay productive even when you're not, sitting at your desk. And it's not just for content creation either. You can use this for planning meetings or outlining strategies or responding to client inquiries. But where it really gets exciting is how ChatGPT's voice feature can help you sharpen your sales skills. Think about it. Sales training is one of those things that just takes a lot of time and practice. But when you use ChatGPT, you can now role play conversations with a virtual client whenever you want to. So just tell ChatGPT to act like your newest potential customer, pushing back, asking tough questions, or even giving you specific objections that you're likely to face. Honestly, I would have loved this when I was still a web designer trying to sell my services over the phone, because I was pretty bad at, justifying my prices and what made my work unique. My close rate was terrible, and I always felt like I was scrambling to explain why I charged what I did. So this would have helped me a lot. Instead of fumbling through real calls, I could have practiced and improved my delivery before ever getting on the phone with a real client. Here's how it works. You can feed ChatGPT a list of your most common objections, and it's going to use them in the conversation, testing your ability to respond in real time. This means that you don't have to wait for that next tough call to practice. You're preparing ahead of time, fine-tuning your techniques without the pressure of losing an actual sale. Then when you're done, it can even give you feedback, rating your responses on a scale from 1 to 10, or give you, a grade A to F, whatever you want to do. And it can offer suggestions on how to improve your approach for next time. And this works just as well if you have a sales team. Instead of formal training sessions, your team can role play anytime, getting consistent feedback to boost their performance. Because this isn't just about memorizing sales scripts. It's really more about getting better at thinking on your feet. That's what sales is all about. And the AI's voice feature makes the experience feel surprisingly real and interactive. And because it's available whenever you need it, you can practice as much as you want, whenever you want. And here's a pro tip. Tell it up front to be a tough customer and to not be easily won over.
Yeah, I'm just not buying what you're selling, Wes.
That'll give you real-world practice with those hard-to-crack clients. By the time you're on a real call, you're going to feel much more prepared, more confident, and ready to handle whatever comes your way. One of the biggest challenges for any business is connecting with clients through your messaging. You know your services are great, but getting your potential clients to feel that in your marketing, that's the tricky part. So finding the right words that are going to make people think, this is exactly what I need, can be tough, right? But with the latest AI tech, there's now a way to crack this problem wide open. This next strategy uses ChatGPT's powerful O1 model to do all of your market research to help you master voice of customer messaging, and it's a game changer. Instead of struggling to guess what words are going to resonate with your audience, ChatGPT can comb through hundreds of customer reviews, testimonials, and feedback to find the exact language that people are using to describe their problems, their needs, and how they want to be helped. And it doesn't stop at just your customers. It can pull data from your competitor reviews too, giving you a really robust view of how your audience talks about solutions like you offer. Here's why this matters. When you use the same language that your prospects are already thinking in, your marketing suddenly becomes more relatable. It feels like you understand their struggles and you know exactly how to solve them. And that's not just guesswork anymore. ChatGPT finds the patterns for you. It analyzes massive amounts of data and then extracts the key phrases that show up over and over again, giving you the messaging that's going to hit home with your audience. Even if you're just starting out and you don't have tons of customer feedback yet, you can still use ChatGPT to draw from competitor reviews, right? Making sure that your message is just as sharp as the big guys. And once you have that voice of customer data, that's when the real magic happens. You can run your website copy, your emails, or marketing campaigns through ChatGPT, and it'll spot where you can improve, showing you the places where your message could be clearer, stronger, or just connect better with your audience. You can even go a step further and create a custom GPT model built around the specific voice of customer data from your industry. This way, Anytime you're writing something new, you just run it through your model and it automatically improves your writing, making sure you're using the words that your customers already understand and trust. Speaking of trust, chatbots are a proven way to increase it on your website, and they're known to boost conversions because, let's face it, these days people expect really quick answers when they're checking out a business. But as a small business owner, you probably don't have a dedicated person to sit there and handle these chats all day. And you definitely don't want to be, pulled out of your productive flow just to answer them all as they come in. I've been there myself before, and it's no way to run a business. Problem is though, your visitors expect those questions to be answered in under a minute when they ask it in a chat box. So what's the solution then? Well, with ChatGPT, you can set up a website chatbot that works for you 24/7, answering questions instantly and keeping your visitors engaged. This isn't your typical frustrating robotic chatbot that just spits out generic responses. Everyone hates that, but ChatGPT's version can handle really complex questions and even give personalized answers and, just guide visitors through deciding if they're a good fit for your services. I use this on my own sales pages for my courses where the chatbot helps people figure out if my course is right for them. Instead of scrolling through all the details themselves, they ask questions like, will this course work if I'm new to this? Or how much time do I need to dedicate each week? It just makes the decision a lot easier for them without me having to step in personally. And you can fully customize the chatbot to match your brand and your specific needs. It can even help qualify leads by gathering important details before you ever have to get involved. And as it handles these chats, it's also collecting really valuable insights about what your customers are asking most, which is going to help you just further refine your messaging and your services over time. Every business, no matter how small, needs an outside perspective from time to time. When you're in the thick of things, it's really easy to get stuck or feel unsure about what your next move's going to be. Maybe you're deciding who to hire next, what marketing strategy to use, or just trying to figure out how to scale, right? The problem is getting that outside opinion, like from a coach, can be expensive. I currently pay $2,000 a month for my business coach, and while it's worth it, right, not everyone can afford that. But thanks to the latest O1 model, ChatGPT can give you almost the same results for free. ChatGPT can be your virtual business coach, helping you make all those key decisions and plan your next big move. Whether you're trying to scale your team or figure out pricing strategies or build a more effective marketing funnel, ChatGPT is basically going to act like a business advisor that's available 24/7. So you can ask it questions like, what's the best way to grow my business in the next quarter? Or how do I improve my lead generation strategy? And it's going to give you personalized suggestions backed by data and all the best practices. You can also use ChatGPT to help you create action plans. So say you're launching a new service or you're entering a new market for the first time, ChatGPT can take your rough ideas and help you build out a really clear roadmap with tasks, timelines, and key milestones. It's a really great tool to keep your projects organized and moving forward. ChatGPT can also help you build systems to revolutionize your business. And as the author of Atomic Habits, James Clear, said, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Because no matter how big your goals are, it's the day-to-day systems that decide whether you hit them. That's where ChatGPT steps in. So you can create an interactive business knowledge base that keeps everything, your SOPs, training guides, and brand voice guidelines in one place. It's like having a living, breathing manual for your business that's available 24 hours a day. And here's why this was a game changer for me, right? So I recently had to let my operations person go. And when I went looking for all of the SOPs that she created, I couldn't find half of them. And the ones I could find, they were barely usable, unfortunately. So instead of relying on a bunch of, randomly organized Google Docs, now we just plug every single new process into our internal GPT. It's all there, client onboarding stuff, marketing campaigns, even how we respond to customer inquiries, right? My team can then access it instantly without me having to step in and explain everything to them. Just imagine your team being able to ask, what's the next step for onboarding a new client? Or how do we structure this email to match our brand tone? And then ChatGPT just spits out the exact process. No hunting through files, no wasted time. Plus, you can keep adding to it, making sure that your systems grow right along with your business. If your website isn't helping you attract more leads, close more deals, and make you money every day, then you have a major problem. But when you're not a writer or a conversion optimization specialist or an SEO expert, you can't fix it. Or can you? I have been hard at work figuring out the exact 3-prompt ChatGPT strategy that'll turn whatever you've got now into bulletproof website messaging that'll do this for your traffic and this for your lead generation and conversions. Before we get to the prompts, let's talk about the first area where your website's probably failing you right now. When I was still offering website consulting, I'd speak with these businesses whose websites were just not working from them, and I'd see this one issue popping up over and over again. And it was really easy for me to spot because I was coming into it as an outsider. So take a look at this homepage, and I want you to guess what might be wrong here. I'll give you a second. It's the wording, right? You as the expert probably talk about what you do much differently than your clients do. It's not your fault, it's just the curse of knowledge in action, but studies have shown that by simply using the same words that your prospects use in describing their problems and the kind of results they want, you'll connect better with them and you'll get more business as a result. The experts call this voice of customer messaging, but the problem is finding those exact words can be hard. Used to be you'd have to schedule interviews with customers or scour the web for reviews and try to keep track of all the words and the phrases that kept coming up over and over again. But guess what? ChatGPT's got your back here. So all we're gonna do is use this prompt. Now I'm gonna explain what's in this prompt. I'm not really gonna read it word for word, but if you want all of these prompts along with some other great ones you can use to help you run your business, you can get it at the link below in the description. First things first, you're gonna start by giving it some context about your business and what you need it to help you with, which in this case is to improve your website's messaging to better connect with clients. This is the part that so many people miss when they're using ChatGPT, but it's super important to give it the context it needs. What you'll get back is so much better with it than without. Then you'll tell it what it needs to be an expert at, which in this case is language analysis and market research. Then you give it its task to analyze as many review sites as it can for real customer reviews of businesses in your industry. I'm telling it to take its time, not just rush to a conclusion, because the secret sauce here is for it to look through a lot of reviews. Then it needs to pull out the most common phrases and themes that are used by those customers that describe their experiences, concerns, what they liked and what they didn't like when they worked with these businesses. Then you're going to tell it the format you want it to be delivered in. So in this case, a structured report format that includes a breakdown of key phrases and overall themes, how often each appears, and any other notable patterns or insights that it discovers. Then give a little bit more context about what this is going to be used for, and then you're going to fill in whatever information you have about your ideal customers. Things like age, gender, where they live, whatever you know about them, put it in here. And then when it gives it back to you, you're going to have some really amazing ideas for words and phrases that real people use that you can just, sprinkle into your website text. But for now, we're just going to copy and paste what it gives you into a new Google Doc that we're going to call Website Revamp Playbook, and we'll come back to it in a bit. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more you can do to optimize your website for better conversions and to make more money. Used to be, you either had to rely on expensive tools or conversion rate optimization experts, or just go with your gut feelings and a lot of trial and error. But now, ChatGPT makes it much simpler and cheaper. With its new ability to analyze live websites, ChatGPT can give you detailed and actionable conversion rate optimization suggestions. It's like having an on-demand expert checking over your work and helping you make more money. All you need to do is paste your website link with our next power prompt. So once again, we're starting out with some context so it knows why it's got to do this. Then you tell it that it's an expert in website analysis and conversion rate optimization. Don't worry, it knows what CRO stands for here. Then you're telling it that you need it to analyze your web page. So I just start with your homepage here, and then you're going to want to go page by page through your service pages if you have those. So you're going to paste in the link, then ask it to provide you with what it finds and what it thinks you can improve. And remember, you don't have to screenshot this and retype it. Just follow the link below in the description to get the full guide with all of these prompts in it already, so you can just copy and paste them in. So you're going to get specific and ask for it to give this all to you as a prioritized checklist of what's going to help you the most to least. And finally, you'll let it know a bit about your audience and to cater its suggestions based on them. Then you're just going to take what it gives you and you're going to paste it into that website revamp playbook. And we are getting to the ultimate power prompt where we're going to take all these custom suggestions and then have ChatGPT add them to our site, but we still have one more area to improve first. I'm talking SEO. It's how potential clients can find your site in the first place. If your important pages aren't optimized for search engines, you're missing out on some valuable organic traffic and paying clients. Now, a key thing to remember about SEO is that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution for your entire website. Instead, it's a page-by-page strategy. So each page of your website has the potential to rank for different keywords. So it's really important that we optimize each one individually to maximize your ability to be found for your different services. And ChatGPT can make this process super easy for you. It can analyze specific pages of your website, compare them with similar pages from your top competitors, and identify where you can make improvements to do even better than them. So here's how we get started. First, we're gonna start with the homepage here. So what you wanna do is get the homepage addresses of your top 3 competitors who are ranking the highest in your search. Then use this prompt. So again, we're gonna start with the context of your business and what you're trying to do, which in this case is to optimize your page for better SEO. Then you're gonna paste in your homepage URL, then ask it to compare that to the homepages of your top 3 competitors who are currently outranking you. So you're gonna paste in those URLs as well. Then you just tell it to act as an SEO analyst and to review those pages against yours to figure out the top keyword phrase that you should be targeting, as well as anything and everything else that you could be doing to improve your SEO. Then just give some parameters about the suggestions, like they need to be industry specific, show buyer intent, and to be best tailored to your specific audience. And you'll once again fill in those details here. Then just tell it you want it as a prioritized list again, everything from the thing you should do first all the way to last, to help you outrank all those guys who are outranking you right now. Now just take what it gives you and add it to your website revamp playbook. So if you've gone through these steps, this document should now include the words and phrases your potential clients use, the personalized conversion rate optimization advice that ChatGPT gave you, as well as suggestions for helping you rank higher in Google searches. I just go through and give each of these 3 sections a headline to organize it, not just for you, but for ChatGPT as well. And then you're gonna save it to your computer. But now it's time for the one epic power prompt that's gonna take all these suggestions for improvement and run it against your live website and actually make powerful rewrites that are gonna help you connect better, convert more, and increase your chances of being found in the first place. So upload that document into the chat. Then here's the prompt you need to completely transform your website. Once again, we're giving it context and background that we've been using ChatGPT to find insights on improvements we can make to our website in your industry to optimize your website in these areas. Then you link it to your live web page and give it its instructions. That you want it to integrate your customers' phrases, conversion rate optimizations, and as a secondary objective, SEO improvements. The reason we're doing that is because we want to make sure it's concentrating first and foremost on what's going to do the most good, which is that customer messaging and what's going to help conversions. Because SEO content can sometimes get in the way of that, so we don't want that stuff to override everything else. And we're saying that we've uploaded the document with all the improvement suggestions and to use that to rewrite your web page. Then I'm telling it to put all the changes it makes in bold text so I can easily see what it's changed, because you definitely want to check it over to make sure it doesn't say anything you don't want it to say. Then I'm telling it the changes can also include layout changes, like reordering stuff for better user experience and what will work best for SEO. Then just tell it about your customers again so it tailors its suggestions especially for them. If you can master the simple prompts that I'll show you in this video, ChatGPT can make all your SEO efforts effortless. It'll help you get all your pages ready for search without looking and sounding like horrible SEO content, and all without spending tons of time on it. In fact, you could get your entire website SEO optimized this afternoon. The secret to getting perfect content out is all about knowing the specific prompts to put in. It's a new skill that the industry is calling prompt engineering, and if you get really good at it, ChatGPT will be your new best friend in business, unlocking your ability to create much more in much less time. And most videos you're gonna find here about using ChatGPT to help you with SEO, they're only gonna focus on helping you rank your blog posts, but I'm gonna help you with that plus your money pages too. So I'm talking your homepage, your service pages, and sales pages. So let's start by mastering SEO Pillar 1, topical authority. No matter how well you optimize your individual pages and posts, one of the biggest things that's gonna help Google see you as the website that they wanna rank for all your keywords is they have to see you as a true authority in your niche or industry. And you can't get that kind of status with just 5 or 10 blog posts plus a homepage. You need good quality content, and lots of it, that covers all the important aspects of your niche. And this list of topics and posts you'd want to cover is what we call a topical map. I chatted with Garrett Malak, the founder and CEO of SEOleverage.com, and he's been doing all kinds of experimentation with ChatGPT-powered SEO ever since it first came out.
The goal of a topical map is to cover a niche topic as deep and as fully as possible, because then Google recognizes you as what they call a topical authority in this space.
And the really cool thing is we can use ChatGPT directly to create a really detailed topical map just for your business. And that's basically going to be your own custom playbook for the SEO content that's going to help you the most. So here's how to use it to get all the blog posts you'll ever need, starting with that topical map. And to get that topical map, all you're gonna need to do is use this prompt. Now it's kind of a long one, and I'll explain all the pieces to you. So help me come up with a topical map for my blog that has the best chance of helping me rank for long tail keywords that are specific to my keyword. And this is where you would add in your niche, your industry. For our case, I'll just say, I'll say cosmetic surgery, and give each a clickbait style title. For the reason of you want your articles to actually be intriguing. Clickbait has kind of a bad rep, but it doesn't really mean to be misleading, it just means to be intriguing. And then as long as you can deliver on the promise of your title, it's not really clickbait, but it still gets people to click, right? And I'm gonna say provide a list of 50 titles. You can make it more if you want. I might recommend, I'm gonna make this a lot smaller for now. I would go with like 100, so you just have a good spreadsheet of them. So provide at least a list of 100 titles, prioritize transactional intent topics. What that means is these are topics that are more likely for people who are searching when they're more ready to buy. They're not so much just kind of general information. It's more like I'm actually showing interest and showing a desire to spend money at this point. So, and then next to each title, add the best long tail keyword phrase that title should be targeting. So it's gonna tell you the title, then next to it, it's gonna say, and by the way, this is the keyword phrase that we're targeting with this article. Super important to know that. And then I say, do not duplicate keyword phrases. That way, you're not gonna be cannibalizing your articles. Like you don't want 2 articles that are going after the same, nose job. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this run and see what it comes with. Okay, so here we've got a list of 10. You might have more if you went for 100 or 50. What you're gonna wanna do is put the ones that you think you can actually, they're gonna be a good fit for your business. You'd put them into a spreadsheet and you'd put the keyword phrase in the next column over just to keep track of everything. Some of these you're probably not gonna wanna do. Like I probably wouldn't do 10 shocking before and after photos of celebrity cosmetic surgery transformations. That shows no buyer intent. That's just someone who's looking for a train wreck, I think. So in every business type, there's going to be a version of that. So just make sure all of these really have that intent behind it, that someone who's actually researching this, who's looking to actually spend money with you. So just keep track of all of them that you want to run with.
We just did this for a client. It came up with 50 topics. I think that we had then the client go through this list and strip out a few things they thought didn't make much sense. But now we have a list of 50 topics and we really want to cover them in the next month. So we're going to go one by one, sorting them first and say, okay, these topics should rank for these keywords, and then go really, really deep.
So just add all the topics that make sense for you to cover to a spreadsheet. Then from there, it's time to actually write them. Just go one by one. And of course, this is where ChatGPT is really going to cut your workload.
We usually like to use ChatGPT really for an outline, first and foremost, because this is very often also the trickiest part when you get started, that you really don't know how to structure this, what kind of subheadlines to use, how to go about exploring this topic. And it's doing a really, really good job there.
Okay, so here's how to get that outline. We're going to type in a prompt. Now create an outline for an article titled Cosmetic Surgery for Men, Top 5 Procedures for a More Confident You. We got that from our topical map generation. Now we're going to say who ChatGPT needs to be acting as. I'm saying write it as an experienced cosmetic surgeon specializing in men's procedures. It's important because we don't want it just to say, we don't want ChatGPT just to write it from ChatGPT's point of view. It's going to sound just like there's no experience level there. And write it for men over the age of 50 or whoever your target demographic is. So two really important things to have there. We need to tell it who it is, what it's an expert in, and who it's writing it for. So then we're going to let it do its thing and come up with an outline. And at this point, you can make any tweaks at the outline stage you'd like to see. You can have it delete something, replace something, make a specific request. And if the content were to seem too thin to make a long enough article out of it, now is when you would want to request additional points to be made here. So if anything here didn't seem right to you, you wanted to replace one point with another point, you would just talk to it like it's a person, like act as if it's a copywriter, because that's what the chat in ChatGPT comes from, is you can just chat with it and be very conversational. And you could say, hey, I don't like this part 5, preparing for surgery. Can you take it out? And it'll rewrite it without it. So, but assuming we like everything, now we're going to use this prompt. Now, write the article in a casual, helpful tone. You could say a serious tone. You could say a humorous, playful tone. You could say in someone specific's voice, like Oprah, Alex Hormozy, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you think that one of those people is going to if you think your article should be written from that voice, then it's a really powerful thing and it can do it. I'll take it out for now. And insert personal anecdotes if they help illustrate a point. And of course, it's going to be coming from ChatGPT. They won't be a real person's anecdotes, but it can give you little placeholders for where you can put in your own anecdotes or your own experiences or stories. Super powerful, and it helps this AI generated content go a little above and beyond the typical, what the computer is going to give you. So highly recommend adding that in here as well, and then just going through and replacing what it puts in with your own stuff. I said include H2s and H3s as needed. Those are just the subheadings. Really important to have from an SEO point of view. You need all the right designations and headlines. And expand on key points or add more if needed to hit at least 1,000 words. Again, we're going for content that's relevant here. And what we need in relevant content is it needs to be long enough. We don't want thin content. Google tends to not prioritize and can penalize articles that are written to be pretty short. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the generate button here and we'll see what it comes back with. Now it seems to be doing a pretty good job of writing here, and it's even coming up with the headlines and the subheadlines, which is great. And it really feels like it's coming from a person's point of view, right? And then a lot of that has to do with the fact that we asked for it in a casual, friendly tone. If we didn't do that, it would probably sound a little more stiff, and you never really want that. Even if a cosmetic surgeon's writing an article, you still don't want it to sound stiff. It's gonna relate much better and keep people on your site much longer if it comes from that personable point of view. And here we have a story. Here's one of my patients, a gentleman in his early 60s, came in complaining of constantly looking tired. It's actually doing a good job of adding in little stories, and you would be able to replace that with something from your own experience, or just add to it to really make it come alive even more. And now it's just kind of stopped writing because sometimes it's just kind of hit a end point, and then you have to just type in continue. But I'm actually not gonna have it continue right now because I'm just gonna get on to the next step, but it's doing a great job writing. All you'd really wanna do at this point is copy and paste it into a Google Doc and then just do any of those light rewrites you need to. But we still have a very important few steps here. The first one is I think we can maybe do better than that original title. Remember, it gave us a list of topics, but now we want the perfect title that's gonna make people really wanna click on it and read it. So I'm just gonna type in here, create 10 clickbait style titles for this article. Clickbait is just gonna make it sound much more intriguing. All titles generated must be optimized for the keyword phrase, cosmetic surgery for men. You would basically just take the keyword phrase that it gave you in that first step when it was creating the topical map, and you would just say, okay, that's the keyword phrase that identify that we wanna go for here. I'm gonna pop it in here, and now we're gonna get 10 titles that we can choose between. And already, so cosmetic surgery for men, secrets they don't want you to know, unlock your youthful confidence. These 5 cosmetic surgery procedures for men are taking over, find out why. So all of these are better than the original title, which I believe was just cosmetic surgery for men, top 5 procedures for a more confident you. Not exactly gonna get the clicks, right? But these I think are much more interesting. From there, you're just gonna choose the title that you like best and copy and paste your whole article into that Google Doc. So we've got a new article.
But this doesn't mean this content is creatively elaborated. It doesn't mean this is something Google wouldn't have seen elsewhere. And this is a big problem for SEO, because in SEO, we always want to try to essentially +1 what is already out there in order to get a competitive advantage.
It's true, but we can still have that competitive advantage. It just takes one extra little step to get it to where it needs to be. So there's another YouTube channel called Income School, and they just did a great video where they tested their own pro writer versus ChatGPT writing the same article about when is the best time to buy an ATV. And they came to the conclusion that the AI written content just didn't stack up, saying,
that content feels very much like commodity content.
it lacked depth, personal experience, and a point of view from the writer. You know, it was written kind of like a term paper. Now, it does need to be said that they didn't specifically ask for a more casual, helpful tone like we did, and that can actually help out quite a bit. You know, by default, pretty much everything you ask it to write is gonna sound a little robotic. But even if you asked for something lighter, you're still gonna wanna take a manual, human pass at each article as it comes out, you know? Check it for factual errors, add in a few personal stories, your own expert opinions and experiences that will set your article apart from the rest of all that commodity content out there. Because trust me, there's about to be a lot more commodity content thanks to AI. Most people are just gonna use it completely unfiltered, which is bad for them, but good for you because you know better, right? The great news is you already have a really solid Sunday provided by ChatGPT. Now, you just have to add the sprinkles and the cherry. And of course, we want to give your newly personalized article a really good SEO reality check just to make sure that it's as optimized as it can possibly be. And of course, we can use ChatGPT for that step too. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna run your edited version of your article through ChatGPT with this prompt. Is the following article optimized for the keyword phrase cosmetic procedures for not for me, for men? If so, just tell me it's okay. So meaning if it's good to go, all it's gonna say is you're good. If not, go ahead and make it optimized with minimal rewriting. Put your changes in bold. That way we can see at a glance like what ChatGPT actually changed. Here's the article, and I'm going to paste the article in, and let's see what happens. Okay, so apparently it wasn't really optimized as it was, so because it's rewriting it a little bit. So yeah, now it's doing its thing, it's rewriting it, and at that point, you're just gonna copy and paste it, write it back into that Google Doc, and at this point, it should be really good to go. I'm gonna stop generating here. We have a few extra steps here. The first one is we wanna create the meta description. So I'm just gonna tell it to do that. Now write an optimized and intriguing meta description for the article. Cool. And then that's what would show up in your Google search listing. And that's why I said to make it intriguing, because it's not enough that it just has the keywords. You want people to actually read it, right? So this paired with that really nice clickbaity style headline, you should get plenty of clicks. And at that point, you're just gonna rinse and repeat over the next few months to a year as you have time to create new articles. You're just gonna go through these steps and create them one by one and load them up onto your website. Okay, time for SEO Pillar 2, optimizing your money pages. So once you've gotten the ball rolling on your blog content, you're starting to build topical authority, which will basically prop up your website's SEO as a whole. But you gotta give your sales pages a proper chance to rank on their own. I'm of course talking about your homepage, service pages, and any other pages on your website that you want to rank in search. And step one here is knowing what keywords you want each of your important pages to rank for. So I'm not going to be doing a deep dive tutorial into keyword research in this video, but I'm going to link to one in the description below if you need help there. But if you already know what you're trying to rank for, let's just jump back over to ChatGPT. So the first thing you're going to do is just run your page content for each of your service pages, your homepage, through ChatGPT, and you're going to use this prompt with it. Is this page properly optimized for the search term? And in this case, it'll be a service page for a cosmetic surgeon, hair restoration, Chicago. Does it include enough semantically related terms to be thorough? Semantically related terms are just other words that Google would expect to see included on a page. So if it's hair restoration, they might expect to see words like follicle or transplant, so these are terms that signals to Google, okay, this topic is being portrayed thoroughly. If so, just tell me it's good. If not, add what needs to be added to be fully optimized, but make sure it reads naturally and makes perfect sense. That's really important because we don't just want to make this a pure SEO optimized page that has lost all of its human connection, right? Use bold text on all new content and keywords you add, again, so we can see at a glance what's been changed. Here's the content, and I'll just go ahead and I'm gonna paste in content from a page I found. Yeah, it looks like everything is not good to go, and it's going to be suggesting some changes and adding stuff into it. Okay, so it's done it, but now here's where I like to add in my own little secret weapon. So we're gonna add in the extra prompt. Let's add an extra keyword-rich section at the bottom, make it benefit-driven and read naturally. So this is just gonna add an extra, more content at the bottom that's gonna help us even more try to rank for that keyword. So let's go ahead and add that in. So you can see it's adding more cases of that keyword phrase. It's adding some benefits here, so it reads really well. This is great extra content, guys. It's not just pure SEO. It's actually adding more context to the business. So something like this is really gonna be a way to go further and go a little bit more beyond the way other people are gonna be using ChatGPT for their SEO. And from here, I'm just gonna do one last reality check, one last prompt, and I'm gonna say, is the new page with the changes and extra section now fully optimized for the term hair restoration Chicago? Well, let's see what it says. Yes, with the changes and additional keyword-rich section, the page is now fully optimized for the term, and it wasn't before. So this is a win in my book. But here's the thing, SEO isn't the slam dunk it used to be for service-based businesses. In fact, its days as an effective client generation strategy might just be numbered. So if you want to see what I actually recommend putting much more emphasis on in 2025, click this video right here. I'm going to show you actual evidence of the shift that's happening, how it can negatively impact your business, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how you can pivot to the most effective way to grow your business over the next 5 to 10 years. So click right here and I'm going to show you everything.